All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome again to another free reading session. This is a session that I'm doing to thank you all for getting me up past 30,000 views. So we always have a lot of people at these things, and I decided to come on 5 minutes earlier to get a few more people in. So let's just get to it. So the first question is Paula. And Paula wants to know if there will be a life-changing event happening for her in March. I'm just going to say, every moment presents opportunities for life-changing events to happen for us. So, you didn't give me any sense of in what area, and that's okay. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to look for the card that represents you. I'm going to use the older woman card, even though I don't know how old you are, and see what there is around you for the month of March, and if anything looks particularly, momentous. So I'm just flipping, Paula, until I get to the card that I'm having represent you, which is this one. And then I'm going to pull 2 cards to the left, 2 cards to the right. Okay. So the cards I have for you, Paula, are the dog, the ship, here's you. All of these are for the month of March. The cross, and then the heart. So I'm going to say, I'm going to suggest that whatever happens involves someone else, someone that you already know, somebody that you trust and that you love. Perhaps they're coming to visit you, perhaps you're coming to visit them. But what's interesting to me is that I can mirror this second card with the fourth card, which is the cross. Now, the cross is the card for pain, card for sacrifice, but all sacrifices are not necessarily difficult. And I know that whatever this involves, whatever this momentous thing is, it involves somebody that you love and trust, I think in a good way. I think they'll be visiting you or you'll be visiting them.
Anne is 76, healthy, active, wants to know some ideas for what to do with the rest of her life.
Okay, Anne, this is for you. Anne tells us that she's 76, healthy, doing well, but would like to know what her purpose is. Purpose, direction, same thing, for the remainder of her years. So for that, I'm going to use the moon, because the moon is the card for direction and purpose. So I'm not flipping the camera up and down because, that will take too much time. But you all know how I do what I do. So, and I'm trusting that you're trusting that I am pulling the cards as they appear. So this is the card that we're going to choose. And I have the 2 cards prior and the 2 cards after. Okay. So the cards are clouds, birds, the moon, the child, and the bear. Okay, so, the question was about direction for your life moving forward. It's clear that you're not clear on that, right? Because this is clouds, and clouds are doubts or just confusion. I can mirror that with the bear. And I think that there are things that you are very good at and have mastery in. And those could be related to what you do moving forward. Now, but the thing is, clouds are followed by birds. And so the birds is a card for other people, like community. It's the card for communication, talking, etc. And then I can mirror that with the fourth card, which is the child. So I feel like it's doing something in small groups where you show people who don't know how to do something how to do it, because you have mastery. So it can be something simple, like if you garden, if you quilt, if you know how to read, you can teach small groups of people how to read, that kind of thing. But it's definitely something that you have mastery in that you don't think necessarily would be part of a skill set that would be valuable. But I think it would be to small groups.
Will the car be able to get a mortgage to buy the house they're living in now?
Who?
Dakar.
Dakar wants to know if they will get the mortgage that for the house that they're living in now. So I think I'm going to use the letter, and that will stand for the mortgage, right? Which is paperwork. So let's see. Okay, so they're living in a house now. They want to know if they will be able to get the mortgage for it. So we're looking for the letter. Okay. So I've got the letter, pulling the 2 cards prior, and then 2 cards after. Okay, these are interesting. So we have the fish, we have the birds, we have the letter, we have the young man, and we have the scales card. So I'm going to say that the first thing is that fish is about money, and that's basically what we're talking about. Do you meet the qualifications to, which are financial, right, to be able to get this house? I can mirror it with the last card, which is scales. So just make sure that you've done that cost benefit analysis and that you can afford it. But I think you've done the balancing to figure that out. Second card is birds. So, and then I can mirror that with the fourth card. I think you've done your due diligence, looked at various companies, mortgage companies that can help you with this, and been really sort of aggressive about how to do this. It's not like you've been just sort of sitting and waiting for something to happen. So I do think it looks good. Yes, I think you will be able to get the mortgage for the house that you're living in now.
Sharon is in her 70s, wants to move to a different state, feels stuck. Is there some guidance?
Okay, so Sharon is in her 70s, wants to move to a different state because she's feeling stuck. You haven't given me, Sharon, any states to choose from. So I'm just going to look at a move to a different state and see what we get. So if we're going to look at a move, we're going to use the ship because that's the card for a move. Okay. All right, so we're looking for the ship and whether or not Sharon moving to a different state will help with her feeling stuck. Sharon, I moved clear across the country from the East Coast to the West Coast in my late 60s, so it can be done. So here's the moving card, and I'm taking the 2 cards that precede it and then the 2 cards that follow it. So, and I said that because some people might think, well, that's pretty dramatic of a thing to do in your 70s. But we have clover, fish, ship, bear, woman. And I think these cards are saying, why not take a chance? Clover, it's a happy card, but it's also a card of sort of just, rolling the dice and taking a chance on a life in a new state. Fish, I think that this is about feelings. I think you would feel happier. Sometimes this card is money. Sometimes this card is emotion. I think it's feelings. You would feel happier. Here's the ship that's in the middle. And then we have these 2 nice cards. I really feel like, the one is you. And then this is you sort of taking the bull by the horns or the bear by the ears or whatever, and just being a boss about this. I think it's a great idea, especially because we have clover mirroring you, and we have the fish, which is your emotions, feeling powerful by that you're making this change. You're not moving to a foreign country where you don't speak the language. You're talking about a different state. Yeah, it looks good. I think so, yes.
Is a different job coming soon for Nicole?
Okay, Nicole wants to know if a different job is coming in for her soon. So the card for job is the fox, believe it or not. And so let's see whether Nicole, a different job is coming in for you. I mean, jobs come in when you apply for them. So, the job's not going to knock on your door, but we will look to see whether a new job is in your near future. So remember, we're looking for the fox. This fox is deep in the deck. I always say that doesn't mean anything. Just means I have to flip a lot of cards. Okay, got it. So this stands for the job. Taking the 2 cards that come before and the 2 cards following. Oh, you know what? The answer is yes. So again, we have Clover to start the reading. And then we have the house. There's our job card, the fox, the scythe, and the bouquet. So let me explain. So, remember I started out by saying, job's not going to just knock on your door. It's kind of a smart alecky thing to say. I didn't mean it to sound like that. But I'm going to also say, a job could knock on your door. Somebody could tell you about a job you didn't even know it existed, or recommend you for something. Because remember, this is the card for like surprises. And surprise what? Well, a surprise bouquet. A bouquet is like a gift. And that could easily be in the form of a job. So I love that. I love that that's the 2 cards on the outside. Second card is the house. And that the 4th card, because the fox is in the middle, is the scythe. Maybe it's something that you do from home. And also, I want you to know that the scythe, even though it's a sharp instrument and it cuts, there's a curve in a scythe, in the blade. And that's because once you've cut the grain, if you're in a field, then you want to carry the field over to the cart where it's going to be taken to be further processed. So a scythe cuts, but it also pulls in. And here it pulls in a new job. So I would definitely say keep your eyes and ears open. Let people know that you're looking. And I think you will actually be surprised. And I think it'll be a really good change for you.
Alice is looking for a message from her deceased sisters.
Okay, well, sisters, plural, I don't know. I'm going to assume they're going to give the same message. I'm sorry about your loss, but we're going to look for your sisters. This is Alice, who's asking about a message from her sisters who have passed. So the card for sisters is the card for siblings. We've already seen it today in a different reading for something else, but it can mean siblings, and this is the dog. So I'm going to look for the dog, and the dog will stand for your sisters, plural. Okay. Is there a message for Alice from her sisters? Our dog is deep in the deck too. Thank God it's only 36 cards and not 78. Okay, here we go. Okay, Alice, so this stands for your siblings. And I'm pulling the 2 cards that come before and the 2 cards that come after. And I'm going to pull a clarifier on the last one, or 2. Okay, so we have the ship, we have the anchor, we have the dog, which stands for your siblings, we have the younger man, and we have the scythe. Okay, so I will say that with the ship and the anchor, I know these are 2 nautical cards, so what it means is that they have safely arrived at their destination, if you get what I'm saying. In other words, they are in a good place where they are. We have the dog in the middle, it stands for them. Now, these are interesting to me. We have the young man and we have the scythe. I'm going to assume that they didn't pass in violent ways at the hands of a young man, because that could be something I would read. And what I did was I pulled clarifiers on this scythe because I wasn't sure, is it a good scythe? Is it not a good scythe? And we have the older woman, the clouds, and the fish. I just feel like you may have some concerns about how they passed, the circumstances that they passed in. But the bottom line is that the message is, however they passed, they're in a good place. And they want you to know that.
Is Fabian on track with achieving his true, authentic purpose, or is he meant to be doing something different?
Fabian wants to know if he is on his true, authentic path or if he is meant to be doing something different. So we've seen the card that I'm going to use as the focus card before. It's the moon, and the moon will stand for your path, your purpose. So the cards around me will tell me whether you're on the right track or not. Okay, so just sort of semi-shuffling here. Okay, so we're looking for the moon. And this is for Fabian. Okay, so we have the clover, and we like the clover, right? But remember, sometimes clover, it's not always happy. Sometimes it's sudden, it's quick. So we have clover, we have dog, we have our moon, that's the card for purpose. We have house, and we have snake. So here's what I'm going to say. I think that, it could be that this is a card for by accident, right? Like you fall into something by accident, the path that you're on, whatever it is that you're doing. Sometimes circumstance just kind of places us in a situation. And sometimes that's terrific. Sometimes it's not terrific. I'm going to say for you, it's not terrific because where you have landed in terms of your path and what you're doing looks like it's problematic. That's why you asked me the question, right? Somebody who feels that they're on their path and doing what they're meant to do would not even ask the question. But the snake confirms that you may have sort of just, it's kind of like let's say your dad owns a plumbing company. And so you go into the family business because there's the job for you, sort of ready-made, but you hate it. You hate it. It's kind of like, you sort of were landed there, but it's not where you want to be. I think that's the case for you. I think you might want to talk to somebody who can help you figure what kind of thing you'd be more at home in doing, because this is the card for somebody who can advise you, like a career counselor or something like that. And this card is about something that you'd feel more comfortable and at home doing than whatever it is now, because clearly you're not comfortable there. So good luck with that.
Maha and her partner are looking at winter properties in the Southwest. Is this a good idea?
Okay, Maha and her partner are looking for winter properties in the Southwest, and they want to know if that's a good idea. I think what I'll do is I'll just pull 5 cards on whether that's a good idea. Okay. I think it's an excellent idea. We have the sun, we have the bouquet, great cards. I like the fox in the middle because I think, you're saying you're looking at properties. This means you're not sort of just blindfolded saying eeny, meeny, miny, mo and picking one. I think you are really doing your due diligence to find the right property. So I like that. And I like the anchor here. It feels very secure. And then this is the card for you doing this search. So yeah, I think it's a very good idea.
Bloodline Tarot. Best for me, nonfiction or fiction. And they gave you a $2 tip.
Oh, thank you. Bloodline Tarot gave me a $2 tip. if you see that little money sign there, if you'd like to, you can give me a tip. But they would like to know if they should focus in their writing career on fiction or nonfiction. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull 3 cards for fiction and then 3 cards for nonfiction, and we'll see which one looks better, or maybe they both look good, or maybe they both don't look good, but we'll see. So the first 3 cards are going to be fiction. Bottom 3 cards are going to be nonfiction. Okay. So for fiction, we have the house, the fish, and the bouquet. Very much feels like this is something that you would feel at home with. Probably you're someone who reads a lot of fiction, who reads with an eye for the detail and the way that writers write. So I think you'd feel at home with that genre. I think it could also, by the way, be lucrative. Not that you're thinking about money. And if we use the other meaning for these fish, you're emotionally, you will feel fulfilled. And how do I know? Because we have the bouquet. Fiction looks great. Now let's look at nonfiction. Okay. Nonfiction, we have the young man, we have the ship, and we have the scales. Now these seem sort of more serious cards, I'm going to say. And I think that's because this is something that nonfiction, it seems like you would be already an expert and have already written books in the nonfiction realm. So you feel very confident. You could do this blindfolded. But the question is this what you want to do? It's very interesting that the 3rd card for nonfiction is this, but the 3rd card for fiction is this. I mean, if I had to choose, I'd go with the bouquet, which means I would choose fiction.
Irma's going to be a grandmother for the first time, wondering if I'll get a healthy baby girl.
Okay, Irma. Irma is going to be a grandmother for the first time, wondering if she will have, it will be a healthy baby girl. Well, I mean, I don't know how to ascribe gender. So I'm going to assume that you will know about gender through other means, like the sonogram. But I will look to see how the baby's health will be, how the birth will go. I think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to use the stork. And we want the birth. It will represent the birth process for the mother and also how the baby's health will be. Okay, so we're looking for stork because that's sort of a, it's a universal symbol for that, right? Okay. The stork is hiding deep, deep, deep in the deck. Okay, got it. So, okay, this will stand for the baby, the birth, the health of the mom, all of that. And I'm putting the 2 cards there and then the 2 cards here. Okay, so I will say this, that the baby could be late because this speaks to delay. The stars and could be born at night. Okay, so late, born at night. Here's the stork in the middle, but all will be well for both mother and baby. So that's great.
Diane's son has been transferred to Berlin to work at the U.S. Embassy in August. Do you see conflict?
Okay, Diane's son, this is Diane. Diane's son has been transferred to Berlin to work in the U.S. Embassy. And of course, she's concerned about whether there will be conflict, given who we've got at the head of state. And I mean, you're all on my channel, so this is not telling you anything that you don't know in terms of my politics. So hopefully that didn't rub anyone the wrong way, because if it does, why are you here? All right, so let's see. We're going to use the fox because the fox is the card for foreigners, things foreign. And so we're just going to see what's around it and whether Diane's son will be okay in this posting in Berlin. Okay, so we're going to use the fox, and that will stand for the Berlin posting. Oh, she's okay. The fox, I always check the bottom of the deck to see if the card's there, and there it is. So that means that this has to be the last card I pull. So I'm going to put this last, and then I'll pull 4 cards in front of it, and then we'll see what we get. Okay. It always surprises me when that happens. Okay. And I, given what the cards are, I'm going to pull a couple of clarifiers. Okay. So we have the mice, we have the sun, we have the book, we have the rider, and we have the fox. Okay. So here's the thing. This, this is anxiety, and your anxiety. I know this sounds woo-woo, but I mean, God, I'm reading cards, so of course it's going to sound woo-woo. Thoughts become things. So I would advise you to just assume that things are going to go well, to intend that things go well, so that the universe says, oh, I guess things need to go well. You know what I mean? Anxiety and worry, I mean, they really don't accomplish very much. But I love the fact that the next card is this. I will say, though, about the sun, we love the sun, summertime, etc. But the sun is also, it can act like a searchlight, right? So your son will be aware that things are weird relative to U.S. relations with Europe because of the guy that's in charge. So, it's just something to be aware of. Now, what was interesting to me was the center card. And the center card is the book. And even though you and I know books hold information, in Lenormand, that's not what the book is usually. Usually the book is about things we don't know. And things turn on a dime, so we don't know. I did pull clarifiers on that, though. And then we have the rider, which is news coming in. And then we've got this foreign thing. So I think that, there would have been a day when you would get a posting in Berlin and say, oh, that's really cool. That would be fun, Europe. But we're not living in those kinds of times. And so these 2 cards make sense to me. And I just think he will need to be, and I'm sure he knows this, aware and alert. And watching what comes out of Washington, because that will be the messaging that he will have to communicate in his job if he's working for the U.S. Embassy. Okay, so now we have this book about, which is things we don't know. Child, fish, and young man. So this is, this could very well be a new posting for him, which is why it's child. And I think it's important to keep a cool head, which I think you probably have to do if you work for an embassy. And I definitely think he's up to the job. So your job is to just intend for this to be a good experience for him and for all concerned. And I think he'll be fine.
VA, no question, but please know how much I appreciate your work to keep our spirits lifted in these trying times.
Thank you so much. Someone, VA, just didn't have a question, but thanked me for trying to keep our spirits up during these trying times. Well, you know what? You all keep my spirits up too. So it goes both ways, and I'm delighted to be able to do this work with you.
H channel. Federal employee for over 10 years, feel threatened to lose my career. Maybe this is the year to publish the book that I've been working on. What are your thoughts? Did not vote for Trump.
Yes, not many people on my channel did vote for Trump, just saying. Okay, so this is what
H channel.
H channel. And the concern is that they're a federal worker. And of course, federal workers all over the place are losing jobs. But that was not the question. The question is this the time that they should publish the book that they have, that they've written? So this time we're going to actually use the book, but the book will not refer to things we don't know. It'll refer to this manuscript that you have. And we will look to see what its prospects are in terms of publication and how it will do and all that. Okay, so we're going to look for the book. Everything is deep in the deck today. Oh, playing hard to get. Okay, so this will stand for your manuscript. And then I'm pulling the 2 cards that come before it and the 2 cards that come after it. Okay. So we have the dog, we have the crossroads, we have the book, we have the rider, and we have the scythe, which I actually like there, because remember, we're looking at the book. I think that it would be, if you don't have one already, get an agent or an editor or someone to help you with this process. I think that would be a good thing, because you may find that you may think you've got a great manuscript, and then they say, well, what about, I don't know, changing this character's gender? I don't know, or the location or whatever, because it seems like you will do some editing and some changing and some shifting, and that could be a really fun process, especially if you're working with someone else, like an editor. Then we have the book in the middle, and then we have the rider with the news coming in, and then we have the scythe. Now, because I didn't look at your job prospects, I mean, you could easily lose your job because everybody seems to be losing their job, but this was not about that. This was about the book. And I really like this. I think that, first of all, remember that a scythe is a cutting instrument. You may need to do some cutting, or again, an editor can help you streamline your manuscript. But it's also, this is the card for decision. So yes, make the decision to move forward with the book. Absolutely. I think it's going to be good.
Brady waved.
Hi, Brady.
Kathleen, what can I do to get a promotion at work?
Kathleen is asking what she can do to get a promotion at work. There is a card for promotion, and it is the bouquet. So that's what we're going to look for. What's the name again? Sorry. Kathleen. Sorry, Kathleen. Okay. Kathleen, what can you do to get a promotion at work? You know what? And can I just say, I like the way that you put that. You didn't say, am I going to get a promotion at work? Like, it's Santa Claus. You said, what can I do to get a promotion at work? I really like that. Because it means you understand that you have a hand in this process. It's not just, again, Santa Claus. That's going to bring a promotion. All right, so we're looking for the bouquet. Okay. As my numbers go up, I will do these. When I reach 10,000, 40,000, I'll do it again. When I reach 50,000, maybe I'll come on for 2 hours. Okay, here is the card for this promotion. And I'm pulling the 2 cards before it and the 2 cards after it. Okay. So it's interesting. So we have the garden, we have the snake, we have the bouquet, the letter, and the moon. Okay. I wore my snake earrings today. I don't really love snakes, but over time, I've come to be more fond of them because of the Lenormand snake. But anyway, the garden, everybody wants a promotion, right? Everybody wants that job, that place. So you definitely will have competition. I mirror this card, the garden, which is all of those other people out there vying for that promotion, with the moon, which is the last card. And so, whoever has the best track record is going to be the one who gets the promotion. So, whatever it is that you need to do to burnish that track record of yours, that's what you need to do. Now, second card is this snake, and I can mirror this with the letter. I taught for a lot of years, and kids would ask me to write college recommendations for them. And most of the time I was happy to do it, but sometimes I'd get a kid who had just been horrible, rude, nasty, didn't do their homework, and then they would ask me for a college recommendation. And I would say, here's the thing. I could write you a college recommendation, but I don't think it would get you into college. And why am I bringing that up? And I would say to them, find somebody else. I'm saying that because you need people on your side to advocate for you. What can you do? You can pick the people who could write letters in your behalf, write recommendations in your behalf. Because what is that expression? Everybody that grins in your face is not your friend. So, and with a snake, like I said, I'm starting to like snakes better, but they can be, people can grin in your face. That doesn't mean that they are your friends. So think about the people who know you well, know what you have to offer, and know what you have offered in the past. Have them advocate for you. I think that will be the thing that will get you that promotion. Best of luck, because it looks like there's a lot of competition for it.
Would love to know about my special needs grandson. No name.
What about him? Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know what the question is. So, I keep saying I'm a teacher, but I'm not trying to teach here. But then, of course, I can't help myself. The question was, no name. The question was, would love to know about my special needs grandson. Know what? We know that the education department, for example, is being gutted. And one of the things that the federal education department is in charge of is services for special ed. That will be gutted. So that's not good. And maybe that's the context that you're asking me the question in. But I'm going to just use the child card and see what is around your grandson. And that will be the message. So the lesson here is try to be as specific as you can. If you're asking about his academic trajectory, that's one thing. The services that may or may not be cut. Or if you're just asking how his life will go, that's another question. So the more specific, the better. But we're going to look. So I'm going to look for the child. Okay. So this stands for your grandchild who has special needs. And I'm going to tell you, I really like these cards. We have the star, we have the bouquet, we have the grandson, we have the young man, and we have the lily. I really like these cards for him. Again, not knowing the circumstances, this is the card for the future. And I think his future is fine. I think he will be happy and contented in his life. The second card is the bouquet. And I think that he has been given enough gifts so that he will grow up to be a fine young man. I like that. So I don't think there are really particular worries there. With the lily and the bouquet in that line, I think things will be good for him.
EH. Since August, I've been having health issues one after another. Can I expect a full recovery from everything in the next few months or by the end of the year?
Okay, EH has had physical problems for a period of time, and they'd like to know whether there'll be a full recovery. Let me tell you something. If you live in a body, just in time for one thing to be fully recovered, something else decides to break down, in my personal experience. So just saying, but we will look at your health, and we will look at your health for the rest of the year. Okay. And the card for health is tree. It's the card for health in all forms: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health. And you know that a lot of our physical health is dictated by our emotional health. So, we are, it's all connected. So let's look for the tree and see what we get. This is EH. Oops. Oh, okay. Popped right up. And it was the second card, which means that it'll be the second card in the line, which means that whatever I pull next will be the third card. Okay. These are actually really good cards. We have the book. This is the card for health. In the center is the garden. Then we have the coffin. Don't worry, it doesn't mean what you think it means. And then we have the stork. Okay. So, I think that even though it doesn't feel like it right now, like you're like, how is this possible? I can't see this. It doesn't make sense to me. That's the book, but I can mirror it with the stork. Yes, there will be positive change in your health during the course of the year. I think you will feel considerably better this time, let's say New Year's Eve. We have the tree. It's a card for health, and it's mirroring the coffin. And I know what you want to say, but that's not what this is. The coffin is the card here for transformation. Why is this the card for transformation when it's a coffin? Because in order for something to change into something else, it has to stop being the thing that it was. So if your health has been bad, there will be transformation. And I know that it's transformation and not, the big sleep, because the last card is the stork, positive change. So yes, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I do think your health will improve during the course of this year. So hang in there.
Cindy, will my brother Mike get a full-time job this year?
Okay, Cindy wants to know if her brother Mike will get a full-time job this year. So the job card for job is the fox. But you know what? There's another job card. I think I'm going to use it just for, change of pace. The other job card is the anchor. So I'm going to use the anchor, and this is for full-time employment for your brother. Okay. Will your brother get a full-time job this year? Okay, so we're looking for the anchor, stable, full-time employment. That's why I picked the anchor. Okay. And I'm just gonna pull, sorry, my cards were backwards. I'm just gonna pull a clarifier on the last card. Or two. All right, here we go. So the key, anytime a line starts with the key, it's really good. So I'm gonna say yes, your brother will find a full-time job before the end of the year. The other cards are the scales. This is the card for job, the dog, and then the coffin. And this time when I got the coffin, I decided that I needed to pull some clarifiers on that. So I did. Okay, so let's go back. So again, this is an unequivocal yes. Love that. And I think it will transform his life and his outlook on life as well. Because, it's depressing, right? When you want to have a full-time job and you can't find one. But I think that his outlook will change. Now, I think it's important, you don't want to just do anything, because it pays you for 40 hours a week. So this is cost benefit analysis. You want to have the right thing. And then it's mirrored by the fourth card, which is the dog. If he's not going to a job counselor now, there are people that's their job. They counsel people on jobs and they place people in jobs. He should find one, because I think that would be really, really helpful. And then I had the coffin at the end, and I pulled the clarifiers, and they are the young man, the whip, and the ship. I think what's going to have to happen, what will happen is that if he works with like a job coach, something like that, he will come out of his depression. I think he is depressed. And when we're depressed, we don't want to do anything. But I feel like this will make him sort of sit up straight and feel good about himself and find the discipline. Whip is the discipline that he needs to move forward. And I can take this last card and mirror it. The ship is forward movement. This is this full-time job. And I can mirror it with the very first card in the reading. And that was our friend, the key. So yes, but again, I think he needs some help and some direction and some guidance, because I think he's also in a funk about not having a full-time job, but that will help.
Vera Diana, may I get a reading for my greater good?
Yes, Vera Diana is asking for a reading for her greater good. And just so you know, Vera Diana, all of the readings I do, always and ever, are for your greater good. So I will we'll use the older woman for you, because you sound mature. I think that's a really mature way to ask the question. So, even if you're a young person, I'm still going to use the older woman, because just in honor of your maturity and asking the question that way. And we'll just see what the cards have for you. Okay. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe as you wait for me to find this card, which is deep in the deck. Okay, there we go. Not as deep as it could have been. All right, so this will stand for you, Vera Diana. And I'm just pulling the cards beforehand and the cards after. Yeah, so what is the message? We have the younger woman, the anchor. Here's you, child, and Clover. I'm going to say this. You asked the question in a very kind of serious, mature way, but the cards are suggesting that what you really might want to think about is that you deserve to kick your heels up a little bit, to have some fun. So here you are in the center, but the first card in the line is this young woman full of enthusiasm and optimism. And I can mirror it with the last card. This is the card for fun. Fun. Have fun. Now, the second card is the anchor. And here it just means to be anchored. But what's interesting is the fourth card that I can mirror it with. So if there's something, for example, that, like, let's say you've always wanted to try. Like, let's say you've always wanted to try watercoloring or pottery or acting or whatever. Try something new, because it will be a thing that you stick with, and it will bring you a lot of fun, and it will keep you young. Even if you're young, it's still going to keep you young. I have a brother, you may have seen him on my Sunday conversations, and he said to me, you know what, Erica, no matter how white your hair gets, no matter how many wrinkles you get, which I don't have wrinkles, but anyway, he said, you will never be old, because you have a young spirit and a cheerful spirit. And so you're asked to cultivate yours. Have fun and do it through some new thing that you've always thought you'd like to try, but maybe you won't be good at it, or maybe it's frivolous. Do it anyway. That's the message. Would that we would all get a message to have more fun. That'd be nice.
Bliss, What guidance would Spirit like to bring regarding my relationship with my boyfriend?
Okay, Bliss, lovely name. Bliss would like to know about her, wants some guidance about her relationship with her boyfriend. So I'm going to use the heart for that, and just see what's around. The heart will stand for the relationship. Okay. Mm, finally. Okay. Okay. So we have the child, the snake, the heart, the young man, and the older man. You know what I'm going to say? I'm just going to cut to the chase and say that there are certain things that make me think that your boyfriend needs to grow up a little bit. The first is the child card. He's not as mature as he needs to be, and this is problematic. I'm not saying that this is the case all the time, but when I look in, when I do a relationship a reading on a relationship, like a love situation, and the snake pops up, I don't love that because a lot of times it can mean a third party. And it's either an actual third party or he's got a wandering eye. There's something immature about him. And especially when I look at the last two cards, it's like the boy needs to become the man. So you're not his mother. I'm just saying, if he's not mature enough, then maybe it's time for him to, sow his wild oats elsewhere and for you to find someone who is more mature because I think he has some growing up to do.
E. Sims, 57-year-old female portrait artist. How many art commissions will she get this year?
I have no idea. The question was from an artist, and they asked how many art commissions they will get this year. I have no idea how many. I mean, I could tell you whether it'll be a lot or a few. That I can do. But it's like asking me, on what date will I meet my soulmate? Or, what date am I going to die on? There's certain questions that the cards have trouble answering because I always talk about time. There's chronos, time on the clock, time on the watch, time on the calendar. Asking how many commissions is very much a chronos kind of question. It's very grounded in our earthly existence, right? And then there's the other kind of time, which is kairos, the fullness of time. And kairos includes the present, but it's also the past and it's also the future. And so what I do is I get information from kairos and then I bring it down and I translate it into the language of chronos. But there are some questions that are so earthbound, like exactly how many, give me a number, or exactly what country should I move to? When you don't give me choices, I can't do that. But what I can look at is your art and your commissions, and we'll see if it looks like a lot or a little. And the card for your art, your portrait artist, is the bouquet, because that is the card for visual and performing arts. Okay. Sorry, that was a little lecture, but can't take the teacher out of the teacher. Okay, so we're looking for the bouquet. Okay, so we have the house, the stork, the bouquet, the woman, and the star. And I think that the most important card in the spread is the stork. So here's what I can say. I can tell you that however many commissions you had last year, you will have more than that this year. That's what I think. And even more moving forward into the future. So you will have more than you had last year. Can't tell you if it's one more, 10 more, but it's more.
Any message for Brady?
Okay. Brady wants to know if there's a message. You think Brady's male? Okay, so I'm gonna use the Brady. I don't know how old you are, but I'm gonna do you a solid and let you be the young man in the deck, and we'll see if there's a message for you. Or you know what? No, I won't even do that. The universe knows that this is Brady's question. And so I'm going to let all 5 cards speak. And so whatever's in the middle will not be you. It'll be part of the message for you. Okay, so message for Brady. Okay. All right, Brady. We have the bear. We have the older woman. We have our friend in the middle. That's great. The stork. We have the tower, and we have the anchor. So I'm going to say, and again, I don't know how you identify male, female, not that it really matters, because remember, we all have yin energy, which is female energy. We all have yang energy, which is male energy. So ultimately, it doesn't matter. But here's what I like. I like this bear here. This means that you're in control of your situation. And that's really good. The last card in the line I can mirror it with is the anchor. Sometimes an anchor can keep you stuck. Sometimes an anchor can keep you safe. I think we're talking about safety, being in a really good position. If you are a woman, then this is you. If you're not, this is that. And even if you are, this is that yin energy. There's some comfortability with this energy. And I'm going to mirror it with the 4th card, which is the tower. And so I feel like you are very comfortable with yourself, your autonomy, your independence. It feels like I really like this tower for you. But the point is, the card in the middle that just popped up as central to the reading, however good things are for you, they're going to get even better. So the suggestion is that you stay the course, and things will only get better from here. So it's good.
4 no questions. James says, happy Saturday. Stella loves your book and keeps it in her backpack. Debbie says hi. Suzanne says congratulations.
Thank you. There are 4 of you who didn't have a question but had warm words for me and my work, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Sharon, will I be able to sell my house this year and move? Not sure where I'm moving to, just that a change is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon.
Okay, so Sharon, we're going to look to see whether you'll be able to move. And obviously, part of the move, it has to do with the selling of a house. You know, I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast. And part of what enabled me to do that was that I sold the house. So we're going to use the ship, and that will stand for the move. Okay, will there be a move? Which implies also your ability to sell your house. Come on, ship. Deep in the deck. Oh, as soon as I said that, popped up. Okay. So this stands for a move. It implies that you will have sold your house and been able to sell it. Okay, you know what? Not so fast. We have the garden. We have you. This is a move, but clouds and cross. You know, here's the thing. The world is wide. For the longest time, I lived in New Jersey, right? For like 30 years. For the longest time, I wanted to move, but I didn't know where. Like, It's all well and good to sell your house, but then what do? This is about that. The world is wide. You even said you didn't know where you would go. I can mirror this card with the last card, the cross. And the cross is a card of pain. All you know is that you want to be out of the situation you're in. That's great. That's only 50% of it, though. The other 50% is, leave where you are and go where and why. So that's the part that you've got to figure out. You are here, second card, and obviously the third card is the ship. But the fourth card, which is what I can mirror this with, is clouds. You really don't know. You don't want to leave a situation, unless you have to, because you want to run away from it. It's so much better if you can run towards something. If you are simultaneously running away from something that's not good, that's fine. But the point is, it's really going to be important that you have your why and your where, because I think everything will then flow from that. So I'm not saying you're not going to move. I'm just saying think bigger than just, I hate where I am, I hate where I am, I hate where I am. And instead, add to that. You can say that, that's fine, but then add to that. And I think I really would like to be in ABC. And then I feel like that will shift the energy, dissipate these clouds, and make this cross go away and make a move something that you really look forward to. And that can also help with the energy of being able to sell. Okay.
Kathy, I've been a caregiver for a few years. Will I be able to travel this year?
Okay, Kathy says she's been a caregiver for a few years and wants to know if she will be able to travel this year. Again, the travel card is also the ship, and so we're going to look for that. Okay. Will Kathy be able to travel this year? You might want to wait till they figure out the plane situation, if you know what I mean. Okay. So we're looking for the ship, and that will be travel. Okay, these are nice cards. We have Clover, we have Whip, we have the ship, we have the scythe, and we have the young woman. Here's what I think. I think that instead of saying to yourself, oh, I've been a caregiver all this time, it's probably always going to be like that, like Eeyore, don't do that. Instead, plan something. This is the card for giddy happiness. Plan something, because if you plan something really fun, then this can take effect. Now, this is, nobody likes a whip. I'm just saying. However, the whip is the card for discipline. And there's a saying, we do what we have to do so that we can do what we do what we have to do so we can do what we want to do. Right? And it makes doing what we have to do easier when we know that there's something that we want to do that will be the result of it. So as I fling the card, sorry. So I think it's more than you saying, oh, I wish. It's more about deciding. This is the card for decision, right? Decide that this is what you're going to do and that you're going to work towards it, because it will make the working so much easier, and it will make you lighter of spirit, I feel like. So will you? Yes, you will. If you plan a destination, plan who you're going to go with, and nothing is too small to write down, for what you want. Like, I want to take a walk on, I don't even know, whatever it is that you want to do and where you want to go. Envision it and have fun with the envisioning of it. Dream about it. That had to be the last thing you think of before you go to sleep at night. In the meantime, you are working towards that goal because you have decided that you are going to travel, that you are going to get a break. And I think it will really rejuvenate you.
Last question.
Last question.
Mary, interested in health, mental and physical, for this month.
Okay, Mary would like me to look at her health for this month. Health in all its forms, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. So there's another card that dropped, sorry. Okay, and you know what? It was the card that I'm looking for, so I have to shuffle a little bit more. That was weird that just was the card that fell out. So I'm just gonna shuffle a little bit. And I'm just shuffle. This is what I mean when I say shuffle. Okay. Okay, so we're looking for the tree because that's the card for health. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So that was the card that dropped. So I picked it up off the floor and then I shuffled the deck. And then I always check the bottom of the deck to see if the card that I'm looking for is there. I was sure it wouldn't be because well, there it is. That means it's the last card, which means that the cards that come before it come before it. So, okay, here we go. We have the scales, the cross, the tower, the clover, and then the health card at the end. So what's that all about? You know, whenever that card that I'm looking for, which was in this case the tree, whenever I can't put it in the middle, I'm always really interested to see, well, what is in the middle? Because that will speak to the answer. So I think that I can take this card, which is the scales, and I can mirror it with the health card that's at the end, which is to say, you need to do a better job of I don't know, I guess I'll call it work-life balance. Whether you work or whether you don't work, it doesn't matter. I just feel like it's important for you to factor fun in because we have the scales. Second card is this cross, and the cross is a card of pain, you know, and the card that I can mirror it with is clover. Clover is optimism, joy, happiness, glee. So, you know, it's interesting that you asked the question that you asked the way that you did. You said you want to look at physical health, but also emotional health. So, yeah, I think that focusing on your emotional health will help every other kind of health that we're talking about. And the card in the middle is interesting, right? Because it couldn't be the tree, because the tree was the last one in the deck. I think that you may be dealing with some isolation, feelings of isolation and loneliness. So that is something that you might want to address. And you know what? Not for nothing. I mean, probably a lot of us can say that, right? We came out of the COVID experience and, you know, being social animals again was something that we had to relearn. And a lot of times we're not that great at it. And who knows whether we have to, you know, learn how to be isolated animals again. I don't know, you know, with what's coming. But it's really important that you have people in your life, whether they are flesh and blood people that you can touch, or whether you do it through, you know, online spaces. You know, I mean, I feel like I know all of you. It's really important that you not isolate. You know, if you work hard at not doing that, I think that that's where your lightness of spirit will come and will change this cross. Thank you so much for all of you for coming. For those of you who left me tips, that was really sweet. I really appreciate it. And you will see me in my regular broadcasts. And then you will see me again when I hit 40,000. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.